Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive. Today we're going to be diving into something I know a lot of you are interested in, and that's the link between gratitude and self-love.
Yeah.
And we're going to really kind of unpack that and see how cultivating daily gratitude can really be a game changer when it comes to boosting self-love.
Yeah. It's a fascinating connection. And I think more and more people are really starting to kind of key into it these days.
For sure, for sure. So, I guess to get started, um, when we talk about self-love,
Right.
what do we really even mean?
That's a great question. I think it's a really important one to ask because self-love is one of those things that I think a lot of people misunderstand.
Hmm.
It's not about vanity or being self-absorbed.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, at its core, self-love is really about radical self-acceptance.
Yeah.
It's about embracing your self-flaws and treating yourself with the same kindness and compassion that you would offer to someone you love.
Yeah.
And that's so fundamental to our well-being. And that's where gratitude can come in as such a powerful tool to help us kind of shift our perspective.
So it's really about how we see ourselves, not just how we treat ourselves.
Exactly.
And so how does gratitude actually help us do that? Is there like a scientific basis for this connection?
Absolutely. And I think that's one of the things I love most about talking about gratitude is it's not just this woo-woo feel-good concept, like there's actual neuroscience
Right.
that shows that it can actually rewire our brains.
Yeah.
Studies have shown that focusing on what we're grateful for increases activity in the prefrontal cortex,
Hmm.
which is the part of our brain that's responsible for things like emotional regulation,
Okay.
decision making. And so when we're consciously cultivating gratitude, we're actually boosting positive emotions.
Hmm.
We're reducing stress hormones like cortisol.
Wow.
It can even improve sleep patterns and overall physical health.
So it's really impacting us on like a physiological level.
Exactly. And as we experience those benefits, it naturally influences how we perceive ourselves, right?
Yeah.
Because we're focusing on the good.
Hmm.
We start to appreciate our strengths, our accomplishments more.
Yeah.
It's like we're training our brain to see the positive in ourselves just as we are.
Okay.
And that shift in perspective is really a cornerstone of self-love.
So that's amazing. And it's really interesting to hear about the science behind it. But for someone listening who's like, okay, this is great, but like, what can I actually do
Right.
to like cultivate more gratitude in my life?
Yeah. Well, the beautiful thing is that it's really simple,
Okay.
and it doesn't have to be complicated.
Yeah.
One really powerful practice is gratitude journaling, and that's simply taking a few minutes each day to jot down things you're grateful for.
Okay.
And it could be as simple as, a sunny day, a delicious meal,
Yeah.
a nice conversation with a friend.
Yeah.
Another powerful technique is gratitude meditation. So finding a quiet space, closing your eyes, and just really focusing on feelings of thankfulness and really allowing yourself to kind of marinate in those feelings.
Yeah. And I find like even just thinking about something I'm grateful for right now kind of just already makes me feel a little bit lighter.
Mm.
But I think what can be difficult sometimes is to see how this translates into real change. Like, I'm grateful for these things, but like, how does that actually change how I view myself?
Yeah.
Do you have any like stories about how you've seen gratitude really transform someone's relationship with themselves?
Yeah, absolutely. I
Mm.
mean, I've seen this firsthand so many times in my work with clients,
Okay.
but I'm thinking of one person in particular who I worked with who was incredibly self-critical, like just constantly focusing on their flaws. And we incorporated a daily gratitude practice into their routine.
Okay.
And it was literally 5 minutes every evening, just writing down things that they were grateful for. And the change was remarkable.
Wow.
I mean, over time, they started to really shift their focus. They started focusing more on their strengths, their accomplishments, instead of dwelling on the negatives, and their self-esteem grew. They started treating themselves with so much more compassion.
That's incredible. I mean, it just shows how these small little things can make such a big difference.
Absolutely. And I think that's the thing, is that it's not about like achieving this perfect state of self-love overnight.
You're right. Yeah.
It's really about making these small, sustainable changes
Yeah.
that over time shift our perspective.
So to wrap it up, cultivating daily gratitude can really be a powerful pathway to fostering a stronger sense of self-love.
Absolutely.
It's about rewiring our brains to focus on the positive, to appreciate ourselves more fully, and ultimately to just cultivate a kinder, more compassionate relationship with ourselves.
Yeah. And I think as you continue to explore this,
Yeah.
just ask yourself, what is one small act of gratitude that you can practice today to really nurture your own self-love?